Hello and welcome to yet another cast. For you today we have a Team Matchmaker 4v4 played on the map Adaptive Diversity. I don't think I covered this map before, so maybe we'll get into this a bit later on, or after the introductions. But let's get into that. We have Team 1 right here on the west, Team 2 down right here on the east. Let's start with the northernmost player for Team 1. In cyan, going Cybran and opening first land, we have Nia Marine. Then to the south of that, in blue and opening first land as well, going UEF, we have Legend Theo. To the south of that, in dark blue, going Seraphim and opening first land as well, we have Memto. And last but not least, right here on the speech area and the furthest south slot for the for Team 1, going Aeon and opening first land, we have Light Me Fire. No, Light My Fire. I'm not a pirate, I don't say me for when talking about my. Or something about something like that, I don't know. Anyway, for Team 2, on their southernmost slot, in Piss Yellow, and opening first land, going UEF, we have Adderley Rose. And then to the north of that, in red, and opening first land as well, going Cybran, we have Bareki Soy Pukan. Yes. I think I'm just gonna refer to them as Bareki. Then to the north of that, in the Burgundy red, opening first land and going Aeon, we have Chuck No Rising. Probably gonna solo the entire game or something like that. I don't know. I know my Chuck Norris jokes aren't that great, I know. I mean, my jokes in general aren't that great, I'm also aware of that, but not stopping me from making them. Anyway, and last but not least, in orange, going UF as well and opening first land, we have Ethanatos. Right. So, about the map, diversity. We have two sides, obviously. Basically all maps have multiple sides. That's how multiplayer maps generally work. And surprise, surprise, they are mirrored. Also, not too surprising, I guess. But there are two small ponds on the in the north and the south with some beaches. What you generally see is or what you tend to see on this map is that there is some slight naval play there. One of the reasons for that is that that navy from the player that has this cliff area that is further inland on the side can just easily block off or can easily completely destroy the base of the player on the beach. Then you have the mid player who is usually more on an air focus, but is still supporting building quite a bit of land on the middle. The player right here on the side of that is generally supporting both the beach player or the beach area and the mid area. So sending units both ways, depending on what requires more support. And then right here on the back, on this side, what I could call the cliff player, the further inland player that is focusing on the beach area. Their main opponent usually is the beach player of the enemy team, and they still also do support the mid generally, since this map is very open and supporting other players is quite easy. Right, there are quite a few mechs in the middle to fight over with a bit of reclaim. There was also a big rock right here that I didn't really talk about with a whopping 300 mass. But let's get the players just get into this. Some light commanders skirmishing between Ethanatos and Nia Marine. I think Marine was trying to get up some production capabilities up here, but was just kicked out by that commander. Right. I think what I forgot to mention is that there's also a dead base with some shields and stuff like that in this area that provide quite a bit of reclaim, which are always a good pickup. I think there's shield and stuff like that in that base, so worth collecting for sure. Now we see a T2 upgrade coming out for Chuck Rising, and Light My Fire has also gone T2. Well, it's also going T2, so I guess trying to go for a more defensive play with some PD. Guns started by Legend Theo. DT2 for Chuck Rising started, and finished, and immediately a Oblivion turret has been started. And that will, let's just take a short look at the range of that. That will deny quite a bit of area and definitely also threaten the, currently the commander of Nea Marine. And it's already started firing onto that. Though Nea Marine is about to lose their radar sight. With 10 HP, I think just shooting that would have been more effective than reclaiming that. To be completely honest. Because I'm pretty sure a singular shot is enough to take that out. But Nea Marine already down into the yellow, quite low. And now also being pushed by the commander of Ethanatos. And into the red at just 1k HP. Makes it safely into the water and survives. But without that commander, the forces of Ethanatos will definitely be able to push quite easily, since there won't be too much to worry about. Though Navy has been now stunned by Nea Marine. Submarine is out, and their current idea is to go for a quick T2 and get some early destroyers to harass. Gun also going out for Nemtor, which is about to finish. And a sensors upgrade did finish for Chuck Rising, so going for more of a utility commander than a direct combat commander. Providing large amounts of intel with that massive range you get due to that sensors array, and also the T2 build power allows, obviously allows for the production of these PDs. That they are now slowly creeping forward with making it hard for Legend Theo to really do anything. What they would need right now is some T2 to just get some tactical missile launchers against that. Or some mobile missile launchers. Or kill it with air. That's also a way to do it. Though game has slowed down currently a bit. No major aggression. There is of course the fire coming out from these Oblivions. But Legend Theo deciding to try and push in the south, trying to force a breakthrough, I suppose. Pushing in with the commander of Nemtor as well. So double gun push. Though Barage does have a gun upgrade and even stealth of their own. Adley Rose, however, does not. Meaning that overall, I think in terms of firepower, the Western team is ahead. And I think they also have more spam currently. But the commander of Bragi could easily be pushed right now. Nea Marine made it safely back into their base and is now pulling back a bit. And they start production of T2 Navy. Without currently anything to really oppose that. Also getting up a few T1 torpedo launchers to prevent these submarines from posing any major threat. But nothing too important right there. Small run by down here in the south from Adlai Rose. Which however did get taken out quite quickly by reinforcing units out from Memto. Though Legend Theo is already down quite low, taking a bit of fire from the Stingers. No AA in the unit mix. definitely something that I will have to criticize, because if you have watched multiple of my casts, or quite a few of my casts, you will be aware that I generally am in favor of large, or well, not large investments in mobile AA, but in the investment into mobile AA that you usually want to see to prevent exactly that kind of stuff from happening. Since mobile anti-air can be quite effective in defending. Gunships are also coming in against Light My Fire, who is immediately starting up a flag, though that is being targeted down by these gunships, but I still think that it will finish. Yep, there it goes. And Legend Theo pointing out that they do not have any air, which is completely correct, though if I'm not completely mistaken, it would have been their job to go air. So, well, I guess the fact that there is no real air is somewhat their fault as well, but, well, the meta on this map is not quite, isn't really that static as far as I'm aware, since it's not played that as much as other maps like Sentence or, to an even more extreme extent, Dual Gap. And some other maps that you usually get. And where there are dedicated roles for different slots, it's really it makes ignoring these slots a bit more acceptable, I think. But Memto about to go down to an air snipe as well, already down into the red with below 1.5k HP, trying to desperately get in the flag range of Light My Fire. But I don't think that the Stingers will get taken out in time. Well, never mind, they did. Memto below 1k, cutting it very close. Another gunship coming in. And Mongoose also firing onto that commander. Down to 500 HP. Commander cute to make it into the water, though, going for a really, really weird move area around that. Right, I think the reason for that may be that the water right here is way too steep and the commander can't make it in there. I think that is the main, that would be the reason for that. So just pulling back now from the front line, making it harder to snipe as well. And currently things slowing down again. T2 is going up for Adelaide Rose, who has also been building up some trials now in their base with these engineers. And also has some Mongoose. Though those are not being microed properly and thus are just dying. Though I think the reason for the lack of micro is just that the rally point is right here, and thus they aren't able to use to be put in properly. The ACU doing some wicked dance moves, trying to build this triad. Probably one of the most funny interactions of this game, just the way that the commander jiggles around if you use it to build something right next to it. But oh well. T2 Navy out for Nia Marine in the north, and that is now being utilized to bombard the shoreline of the Thanatos. And will most likely also be useful in dealing with Chuck Norrising shenanigans with those Oblivions. Though no major T2 production, and most importantly also no MMLs currently out to deal with that, though saying that there are currently 10 MMLs in queue for Nia Marine, which will take out these Oblivions quite handily. And also already T3 underway on that HQ. Though that is going quite slow. How is that economy looking? Oh, holy shit, that's stalling quite heavily. Right, because most maxes are still at T1. I think someone forgot to eco. I mean, to be fair, T2 Navy is super expensive, so I understand why. But on that note, let's maybe look at economies. Light my fire down to down at just 17 economy or mass income. Also also with only 1 T2 max right now. 39 for Nia Marine. Only 30 for Adelaide Rose and 36 for Ethanatos, so actually really low ecos around basically for everyone right now, except Memtor, who is sitting on double base. But Team 2 is slightly ahead with around 20 mass, which at this eco level is quite significant and will just widen. Now, with the use of MMLs, Chuck Norrising has started throwing up some volcanoes, which are super effective in dealing with tactical missiles, since they, instead of just firing upon them and taking and just dealing pure damage, what these volcanoes do is they provide a wrong target, which causes the missiles to just, well, split off and go try and follow that flare. Which is especially effective against the Aeon missiles, which split into 3 when when damaged. As you can see with some of the missiles coming in, that they split into more and just fly around quite neatly. But Chuck Norrising now reinforcing this position, building up even more Oblivions, and making it even harder to be really aggressive. There's a parachute out for Nia Marine. I think... Right, I think that has just been crafted over. Yes, the Aeon Snake. Nano going out for Baragi, so I guess that commander will be used more aggressively very soon. And a similar thing to the current situation in the north now also developing up here, though there is also significant counter-fire basing out from Adelaide Rose. And I think a much lower amount of volcanoes currently utilized, meaning that more missiles to actually get through. Though looking at all of the missiles that get diverted, you can, it's quite obvious or quite well visible how effective these volcanoes actually are at deterring missiles. Still taking out most of them even with this amount of Vipers currently firing on them. But there is now also a push out from Baragi with that, with some army and that Nano ACU, as well as some mongoose out from Adelaide Rose. And with that, the firebase is just evaporating. The whole tactical missile tactical missile defense has been taken out, only leaving the flag, which is still alive long enough to take out these jesters. Or at least most of them. But doesn't do much and did go down quite easily. At my fire, forced to retreat into the water. And now only with some T1 PD against the mongoose. And stuff like that. And some T2 gunships actually coming out to raid their stuff. Let's take a look at their economy, only 29 ecos, so that's definitely very painful. T2 Navy has apparently also been built up in the north by Ethanatos, who has actually taken out the T2 naval yard out from Nia Marine, and is now threatening the Salem, even getting a mobile shield generator and asylum out from Chuck Norrising covering that destroyer, making it a lot more survivable, though the superior range of the Salem does provide a major annoyance, since that way the Valiant is taking fire without being able to fire back. But what I apparently completely missed is that actually Mamto and Nia Marine were able to break through the firebase of Chagno Rising and did push the commander and just continued pushing the commander, taking it out, as we can see right here, with this massive explosion of white. And also managing to run by on the land via the beach against the Thanatos. Taking out Raider, doing some damage there, but turning back, not doing, and now also being threatened by the destroyers and at Navy. And on the note of Navy, there's now actually a governor out from the Thanatos that will be a really, really dangerous prospect once, if it should decide to move to the shoreline onto the opposing beach area. So right here. Since with that range, it will be really, really dangerous for Nia Marine, who has actually also built up a who has also gone nano and has a gun upgrade as well. Hello there to you too. Welcome to my streams. Right, now, in the south there is the counter push from Adelaide going on, and apparently I completely missed it, Buragai died as well. To something. Sorry about missing that. Guess that stuff just kinda happens. Right. Anyway, the counter push has still proceeded quite a bit. There was even a land factory placed up here, though. Mamto is now doing a counter push on the side, or well, considering the fact that this wasn't really a counter push, just normal push, I guess this would be the counter push. Which is taking out quite a bit of units and also overwhelming the Cerberus point defenses, which are slowly tickling these pillars to death, as Cerberus turrets tend to do, but I think they are also about to go down just to the pure amount of spam. Somewhat turning this game around. A bit earlier it wasn't looking too great for the Western team, though now they have somewhat stabilized. Though, still saying that, I still have to point out that there is now the naval situation in the north that is quite threatening for the Western team. But the general land area right here has stabilized with the fire basing and PD creep, and also leaves a massive reclaim field that the Western team can take advantage of, since they currently have their spam up further out, being able to react to that quite well. T3 out from Nia. Right, and they are already building bricks, as well as some ion reactors, or a ion reactor, and going T3 air. On the note of T3 air, is there anything similar currently out? Not by the looks of it, no. Currently no T3 air out or in the works for the Eastern team. T3 going up on the AC of Mamto, so I guess they decided to use their commander more on the base as more engineering power, which is completely fair now that there are large amounts of T2 and even some T3 units on the field, since those do usually kill off commanders quite quickly. Nia Marine being quite ballsy moving that commander up. That can definitely go very, very wrong, though currently it hasn't, but still it's quite dangerous. Now, a run-by of Wagner's out from Nia that actually managed to get right here through the back, I think, somewhere. Not too sure where, I wasn't paying attention to that earlier, so didn't notice that, but those did pick up a max, getting quite a bit of stuff, but the Stingers now coming in and taking those out. Dealing with that, as well as these engineers just throwing up some T1 PD and some T2 PD in the main base right here. Though looking at these Wagners, they all vetted, so they all got some value. They all did the job they were intended for. This brig right here having a, well, disagreement with the cliff. I guess trying to take out this mass extractor, but just not being able to target, or not properly able to hit it. And Legend Theo points out that they should push orange, which is definitely a very good call, since orange is really poorly defended currently. Also down to the nature of the slot just not having that much eco, though there are mechs here that could be claimed. So that's not that much of an excuse. Nia Marine pushing the space, and I think utilizing the fact that the Stealth Commander is harder to see, or actually has a vision radius that's... well, never mind, the Oblivion has a vision range that's small enough that it is actually outranged by the Stealth Commander with the gun upgrade. But things going a lot worse now, since air has flown overhead and found the ACU, meaning that both the PD can now target it, and also that there are incoming Corsairs and gunships trying to deal with that. Though due to the nano upgrade and some levels of veterancy, that ACU is still quite tanky. And the air has been successfully taken out, which however does no longer provide any defense, as the PD has already targeted that commander down, meaning that it will be continued to be fired upon even now that's no longer spotted. One of the interesting interactions of this game, that even stealth units, once they are no longer visible, will be continued to be targeted once it has been seen as set as a target by other units. But Nia deciding to fall back, definitely a good call, since that is a very dangerous position up there at the front line. The commander definitely did its job, and can definitely pull back. Strat bombers out from Memto that took out one max. I think there was also a bomb targeted on this one, but it was just tanked by the shield due to the drop angle. Another max going down. I think that one, the second one was T1. And what happened to the second strat? Right, it got shot down. There are quite a few cruisers, so not too surprising. I'm honestly surprised that the cruisers are sitting here and aren't being pulled into the bay area to provide firepower or long-range missile support. Just sieging down the base of Nia Marine. Because if you look at that huge yellow ring is the missile range those things have. And that could definitely do some heavy damage. Now, push right here in the south, out from Memto with their main spam force, with another spam force moving up north, supporting the commander of Nia Marine, who is currently reclaiming. But that is taking quite a lot of fire from that PD. Both losing quite a few units to that T1 PD, but also now just the sheer amounts of T2. Nia Marine pushing in as well, trying to support, providing that commander firepower, with the occasional overcharge dealing additional damage. But they should be a lot more careful with that commander, as that will be taking a lot of fire from that PD. PD has targeted down the commander, so definitely needs to pull back, needs to be a lot more careful. And bricks are moving in, though those are also being taken out by these Raptors. And Nia Marine does go down now to that PD fire. Right, and the cruisers actually now also moved up into the bay area, starting to just provide long-range fire on wrong player, on all of this. As you can see, it can reach a lot of important infrastructure. Basically the entire main base that belonged to Nia Marine, a lot of nexus, raiders, stuff like that, stuff you really want to keep. Including this T3 air factory, that you definitely want to keep. Now this game is down to a 2v2 now, with the respective beach players and one player just keeping the rest of the map. Let's take a look at economies. Team 1 actually had now, with around 380 mass against 325 or 26, something along that. Ravagers started to be built up by Adelaide Rose, and those are just taking their shots into the small obsidian force right here. Or not. I could swear that was just firing into that. And the tier 2 air factory now under now under fire from those missiles, from those cruise missiles. And never mind, currently a DT2 power, which is, with its splash damage from going down with the death explosion, most likely gonna take out multiple of these engineers. Or not, because those cruisers seem to be retargeting every time one of those goes down to low health. But I think this T3 regen will go down. Yes, it does. Now, an experimental did finish from Adelaide Rose. It's a Monkey Lord. Forward, game is slowing down quite a bit. There is some maneuver started out from Memto, though currently no real push. Stuff going down, the HQ is also about to die. I suspect that as soon as the monkey reaches the front line there will be a push, but I will maybe just speed the game up a little bit as there isn't too much happening right now. The game has turned quite static. Right, yes, and these Ravagers are actually firing onto this spam. The army right here pulls back a bit. And I completely missed that apparently even that max up there was claimed by the western team. Another experimental out from Adelaide Rose, it's another Monkey Lord. Memto also finished an experimental, it's a chicken. And those missiles continue to strike at basically everything that's important, but are now being targeted down by Strat Bombers, which honestly would probably be best targeted at the ACUs. I think it's a bit of a waste to use them on these cruisers, to be quite honest. And a push in the middle is happening, okay. Adelaide Rose was going for Raz for a moment, but decided to cancel that and pull back, and push right here has started. Monkey Lords both just tearing through this spam that is still mostly T2, which T2 is generally not quite that good against the experimentals. Chicken is now moving in and firing upon those Monkey Lords, but also taking quite a bit of fire from the Mongoose and these possibles. And the monkeys did move into range of those, of their chicken. The chicken, they moved, yeah, they got the lasers into range, whatever. Refer to it however you want. But with that, the chicken does go down, after killing off one of the Monkey Lords. And as well as most of the army that belong to Memto. Though half of the chicken already finished again. That will most likely be able to deal with most of the spam, as this Monkey Lord is heavily damaged and... Well, okay, the Monkey Lord is most likely just gonna go down to the Strat Bombers. And the spam will be easily taken out by the chicken once it finishes. Now, another drop from Strat Bombers, Monkey goes down. Only leaving a smallish force of some T2 and a single possible. Though, well, okay, there isn't really much to deal with that right now. There's a Strat Bomber flying overhead that is slowly getting veterancy from that. I was about to say correction 2, but never mind, the second one just got shot down, so it is only 1. Bigger problem is now the flag that is moving up behind that. that if it manages to catch up with that army, is going to be able to effectively defend that against the air that is being used in an attempt to defend. The Strat Bomber is also having a hard time to actually deal with this army since it's so close to the cliff edge, meaning that a lot of the bombs are just dropped onto the top of the plateau right here and not being able to hit the units. Terrain being one of the biggest opponents for most FAF players. Now, more strats flying in, more bombs being dropped, more units going down, but more and more strats are also going down to the bouncer and banger fire. Though I think primarily the bouncer, since Flag has a hard time dealing with strat bombers due to the high movement speed of the bombers. Flag can only effectively hit bombers on their approach, not while they are pulling back again, and depending on the way that the flag is situated, that can make that a lot less effective. But that army is now fully taken out, Chicken has finished and is now pulling up there. But currently, again, game turning a lot more passive. So let's... Oh, there's a Novex out. There's a Novex out from Adlai Rose, and a new launcher currently being built up as well. So they are going for some standoff technology. Anything of flags right here doesn't look like it. With nuke under construction, is there any SMD? No. No, there's not. And also only sporadic shielding of the bases, so that Novex will be quite threatening once it's being sent in. Small run by up here from some hoplites. Well, I was about to say it probably won't do too much, it's just some hoplites, but, well... Okay, there's a chicken moving up on that, so... If that manages to catch up with hoplites, then that will be that, but... not much else. What's more notable is this run-by of some T1 up here. It will get into the back and most likely kill off some of these T2 maxes. Saying that these hoplites may also take out some T2 maxes. Chicken is moving to the shoreline and will probably take out multiple of these naval vessels. Most cruisers actually did go down to the strike bombers now. And yes, the Chicken has started firing onto these destroyers, taking them out. Or not. I guess the destroyers do survive in the end. But, well, I was going to say quite a bit of damage done by these hoplites and the T1, but not really. Those were some mass storages, nothing too important. Memto finishes another experimental, another Chicken. But the Novex has now been moved in and started firing upon the HQ. Which is of course a big thorn in Adlai Rose's side, since that has been... since the T3 air usage has been proving to be quite the pain. I was saying that there is currently no T3 out, but I was wrong, there is a T3 air HQ out for Adlai Rose. And the nuke launcher has finished and is getting quite a lot of support. And all in all, I don't think that the Western team currently has too much of a chance to win this, though they are currently ahead on mass by around 100 income, which is quite a bit. But how about speeding this game up a bit again? Some of them's coming out, fired onto by the Valiants. Some Stingers being used. Small push out here from a bunch of Harbingers that are facing a heavily damaged Chicken. I think that was mostly due to naval bombardment. But also, more notably, a lot of Othams. Second fully health Chicken moves in. And I think in conjunction those will most likely be able to just break through. Are they aware of the position of that ACU? Yes, they are. And I think that, with those 2 chickens and that spam army, they could probably just go right for the ACU of Adlai Rose. But instead they are taking out the base that once belonged to Chakna Rising, which is also quite heavily defended by a whole bunch of BD. And well, those are currently still T2 maxes. There are some T3 maxes in there, so there's definitely a economic incentive to go for that. Other than the fact that all this firebasing was a massive investment, and it's also making it a bit harder to push against Thanatos, since pushing along the beach is greatly is a lot more threatening due to the naval presence, and pushing through the north is a lot harder due to all those point defenses. But this chicken also about to die, down to below 5k HP, and taking a lot more fire, down to 300 HP, but getting out of range and actually surviving, I think. Surprisingly. At 10k masket, so quite a bit off from a rank of veterancy, but with that we have 2 nearly dead chickens. Is there a 3rd chicken? Yes, there is. So, well, if that moves in, we basically have the HP pool of 1 chicken with the firepower of 3. Seems like a decent trade. And if the healthy chicken can successfully tank most of the damage, then that will be a really, really hard thing to push, even with those 2 other chickens being heavily damaged. Though the first one is quickly regenerating due to its 2 ranks of veterancy, meaning that's already back up to 16k HP. And this one, without any veterancy, still is taking some time. But second push already started. Now with some sniper bots, which will definitely be a big pain for those Oblivions, since Oblivions are outranged by sniper bots. Chicken also moving up, but not firing for some reason. Honestly don't know why it's not firing. Like, yeah, it obviously doesn't have the angle, though I'm pretty sure the head could just poke over that. The lightning storms that fires from the head. Or plasma bolts, or whatever they are. But whatever. Also, I mean, something that you don't really think of that much in this game is the actual scale of the terrain as well, since a chicken is something like 200 meters tall. With that height, this mountain edge is also something like 200 meters, so like that, these mountains here in the back, those are actual mountain ranges. The scale of this game is sometimes just completely ridiculous. But another Monkey Lord has been finished up by Adlai Rose, which is now facing off against the multiple chickens, and currently taking a lot of fire from those. Though the chickens are also taking quite a bit of fire from these mongoose and possibles. This one about to go down, but just about surviving at about 1k HP, getting away again, and getting a 3rd rank of veterancy, putting that up to 95 regen. This one getting its 1st rank, putting it back up to 10k HP. And another Monkey Lord has finished, which is taking quite a bit of fire, though the chicken right here is placed or standing in a way that it can't get all of its couldn't get all of its guns firing right from the get-go. But with the support of those offense, it was still able to provide enough firepower to kill it before dying itself. But 2 heavily damaged chickens and 1 half-health chicken is Not that great of an HP pool. However, there is a fourth chicken coming in. And the idea that I had earlier that would probably be a better call to currently just push the ACU of Adlai Rose seems to have been now also taken into account by Memto, since they are doing exactly that now. Trying to push that. The nuke has finished loading and is firing. Let's see where that is going. It is going for the base of Memto, who is already pulling back, or pulling out of that, realizing that they do not have a SMD. That nuke is flying quite fast, and I think that ACU will be caught in the blast. Yep. Adlai Rose already under threat, taking fire from the chickens. But the nuke does land, and the ACU for Memto does go down. However, Lightning Fire is still alive and can continue this push. So that way Adlai Rose will probably still die. Also, these strats just going into that. I think Adlai Rose controlled Kate in the last moment, but didn't make too much of a difference. I guess just denying the referency and the score from dying, which is a bit of a scummy thing to do, but it does work in the end. But that leaves this as a 1v1 between the two lowest rated players of this game, with Ethanatos and Lightning Fire. Ethanatos at roughly 600 rating and Lightning Fire at 665. And I think, well, never mind, Eco, due to the long use of the Novax, is actually now in favor of Ethanatos, around doubling the eco of Lightning Fire. And also large push coming in right here. Right, of course, the nuke. The nuke also took out a lot of the economy that was in play. Completely neglected that. Torrent out from Lightning Fire, though I think it's a bit late for that, as while the Torrent does have an amazing range, I don't think it will be able to reach too much. If it actually manages to get past that nail factory. Pathing being not amazing. Could probably get around here, but well, once again, pathing. But this push does go in, takes out what little remains of this northern area right here. Or, well, northern area, whatever you want to call it. And all in all, I think this looks like Ethanatos might be able to win this. Though, saying that, there are still 4 chickens alive that are still pushing on. Well, okay, let's say 2 chickens. Looking at that HP pool, at those HP pools again. And I know that's not exactly how that's working, but I mean, come on. With that amount of HP, if targeted down smartly, then that is effectively 2 chickens. The push up here continuing. Now checking right here, that is actually defending. And that will most likely actually take out the spam forces right there. That artillery fire is there. Yes, okay, there are spears in the play, but spears aren't too great against moving armies. Ethanatos finishes an experimental, it's a Fat Boy. Fat Boy not too great in dealing with the chickens, as it's a long-range sieging unit, which excels at kiting, as I already talked about a lot of times, but isn't really good at a one-to-one fight, especially not against multiple direct fire experimentals like the Thotha chicken. And that push currently being posed, but now being given an order to push north, and that will most likely get Thanatos. Though they are throwing up quite a few Ravagers. However, due to power stall or power struggles, they are not able to keep their shields up. Right, yeah, the Fat Boy taking up 600 power. And they are building a second Fat Boy at the same time. Now, Lightning Fire doing the smart thing, sending in the full health checking first, meaning that that will tank up most of the damage. And with those 3 ranks of veterancy, that is also super tanky. Note, well, 4 ranks of veterancy now, with 93,000 HP. I think that this chicken right here, even though it's slightly damaged, technically has more HP than a normal chicken, a non-vetted. But all these chickens with multiple ranks of veterancy are a lot tankier than they may look. And they are pushing in. Fed by Fire has come onto those. Ethanatos not thinking about pulling back, instead trying to get up more shields and more PD. But chickens are targeting down that ACU, and shield is about to collapse on it. Shield has collapsed. All damage now going into the hull. Down into the red and gone. Right. One chicken does end up going down, but with that, Lightning Fire does win this game. It did actually get quite close towards the end. I hope you enjoyed this cast. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, you know, stuff like that. There are gonna be more casts out like these, so if you want to be notified when those do come out, you can always subscribe. And this was streamed live, link to that will be down in the description, as per always. Anyway, hope to see you again in a future cast or stream, and till then, bye!